Y'all, we are here for day 4 in Istanbul and the 4th of the Turkish series. Now today is mainly going to be about the Asia side. We're going to hit a few communities through there. We're going to hit still staples from Turkish cuisine from all over Turkey. Now before we head over to the Asia side though, we didn't want to start right away. We want to go ahead and grab some breakfast. So we started in the neighborhood Beşiktaş. It's a university city. You'll see lots of young kids and universities all around that area to grab a breakfast and a few little things before we take the ferry over to here in the Asian side. Hope you're excited because you're coming along with me today in culinary backstreet. So let's go ahead and get it started. This actually restaurant, the owners are from Gaziantep, you know, the culinary capital of Turkey. What they do is a su borek, or what translates to a water borek. Traditionally a sweet, but you can kind of think of this as like a sauceless lasagna. Okay, so here it is. I like waking up early, but there's no way I was gonna wake up early enough to get in the kitchen and show y'all this. So we got that traditional flavor here, which is a cheese and parsley mixture. Now the reason it's called water borek is because they're actually gonna take those layers of phyllo dough in the middle and they're gonna boil it in water first. They do not boil the top and bottom layers though, so you still have that crunchy outside coating. And look at that, you can see that's like a feta in there. You can see the oil is kind of leaking out of it, and just little tiny bits of parsley right there. Oh, there's just all kinds of textures going on. That cheese has just still a little bit of a squeak, a freshness to it. You crunch into that top layer. All the butter kind of coats your mouth. And then the middle layers really do eat just like a pasta noodle. They're thick, they're rich. It is an egg and flour dough as well, so it does just have that rich pasta feeling. I can't get over how much I like the texture of those noodles that have been boiled, but you gotta have that top layer. Without that crunch, this would be a lot lower. That little crunch, difference in texture, elevates it so much. That was good. I'm surprised how much I liked it because it looks simple because it is simple, but man, does it right. Like really get those just like sauceless lasagna vibes, and then been doing it since 1963, so you know they've had a few test runs.
Just serving breakfast, and they served all day long until late in the afternoon, say like 4 to 5 p.m. Because this is neighborhood. Beşiktaş is a very student populated area, especially with the universities. So with their different schedules of waking up at any random time of the day, they come here and can have breakfast served all throughout the day. The one we will go to is the oldest one that started off here about say 20 years back. These guys, being the oldest and known to be the better quality one, don't bother with that kind of stuff. Simple, basic, same old chairs and tables, but the food is gonna be.
2002, exactly 20, yes. Yeah.
2002, and this is.
It's kind of funny that this is a breakfast place because it just feels like a breakfast place. This reminds me so much of a breakfast place we used to go to every Saturday in my childhood. I don't know if it's like just the tables and chairs and just hearing the kitchen vibe, or it's the people gathering and having a communication, or the news on the TV, or what it is. Something about it just is very nostalgic for me. She's actually working on the Meneman right here, which you see she's throwing the tomato mixture in there, and it's got little peppers in there as well. She's gonna heat that up and then throw the eggs in there. I've heard this compared to like a shakshuka, but really it looks more just like a very, really fluffy Turkish omelet. You can see that being the main difference with the shakshuka is she put the egg in there, didn't leave it whole. She's actually going to scramble it in there, and you can see it just starting to fluff up. Continuously going to work it and stir it, get that air in there, so these are just silky, velvety, smooth, and airy. Is that cured beef?
It's the air cured beef. Which has a spicy paste covering around the edges of it, mainly made from fenugreek herb.
From fenugreek.
Yeah, exactly. It's crushed down to a powder and mixed with other spices, many different ones, from cumin to garlic to chili to many others.
Halloumi cheese is so fascinating to me. A goat cheese that you grill has no melting property at all, but instead it's just going to form this little crispy crust. Yeah, these green peppers, they've been fried, smell amazing. You could almost smell them from about 2 tables away. And the fried bread, look at it, the way it's puffed up, it's crispy. And then the Meneman here, we'll get that, we'll dip it. There's too much going on here. You don't know how to order just a little bit. And when you look at that, look how incredibly light and fluffy that is. You just scoop that out so easy, the bread. The egg is just there for the body, the heartiness. It's really the predominant flavor is just that tomato and that green pepper that have been cooked down a long time. Got a little bit of that sweetness coming out from both of those. So halloumi is actually a goat cheese, and look at that, man, just zero melting property, which is so interesting. And then you can follow it up with the fried green pepper. So we got the grape molasses, which will have the tahina, which is the crushed sesame seeds, and you mix these together.
Now everyone does it a little differently with the ratio of tahini to molasses changing. I like it a little bit on the sweeter side, so I add a little bit more molasses. But traditionally you are supposed to have heavier tahini in there, more for that nutty flavor. But I like it more like a Turkish Nutella. And you can see the consistency becoming very creamy.
Fried bread's thick, so keeps calling this like Turkish Nutella, but for me, I can't help but think like, it's peanut butter and jelly. It's Turkish peanut butter and jelly. Look at that consistency. Wow. Thick, sugary consistency like Nutella, but the taste got a little peanut butter and jelly action. The grape flavor is not as strong, but instead, because they've reduced it down, it's got more of a sugar kick to it. But wow, that is thick. Stick to the roof of your mouth. Got like a peanut butter on the roof of my mouth, like a dog feeling. My beef's almost crisped up like a piece of bacon. That's beef jerky fried in butter. This is something owner wanted to try. Get the fried egg in the butter with the cured beef. That one's just a winner wherever you go. If you go to any restaurant, that could be an automatic order. That cured beef and salt. So as you dehydrate it, intensify the flavor, extra saltiness, and then butter and egg. Not much you can really screw up there. You're not kidding, this is definitely all breakfast. It's not just that little street, it's this L, there's a whole other street over here. If you're ever hungry in the morning, this is the place to get lost. Now there's going to be no shortage of sweets today. We're going for a dessert called Ashure, or Noah's Ark pudding. It's a very special occasion dish, so we got a lot to cover about this, but let's head over here and get inside. Now this one little dish right here, we could have a whole semester and a lecture of the history behind it. You could probably have a whole just class based on all the ingredients in here. But the reason it's called Noah's Ark's pudding is because when Noah landed in Mount Ararat, almost all his food supplies were exhausted, so pretty much had just a little bit of everything. So maybe like 40 ingredients because they had a different meal for 40 days. And they came to make this special dish right here, Ashure, or now known as Noah's Ark. Now there's another story and a lot of history we could get into, but the main part is it's a lot of ingredients and it's a very special occasion dish. The base is predominantly going to be wheat, but you can find things like white beans and chickpeas and more of types of things like we have on top here with an abundance of sugar. So I think I'm going to go in for maybe like a hazelnut, pistachio, coconut. Really? It tastes like applesauce without like the fiber and mashed apples. It's more of a silkier, smooth texture. Why is it so appley? I don't even think there's apples is like the one ingredient I think that's not in here. I think there's just so much fruit along with like warming spices such as cinnamon that when I get a fruitiness and a cinnamon, I want to go to apples, but the texture's thick. Not really my cup of pudding. Definitely one of my favorite parts about Istanbul is being over here on the water, just listening to the seagulls. There's something about it that's just so peaceful and so calming. But we're finally headed over to the Asia side, so let's take the ferry and keep eating. Okay, we made it to the Asia side. We're gonna head to a nice little charming neighborhood called Kuskunjuk, and we're gonna go for a home-cooked meal full of meze platters. So we're gonna go and watch the prep of that.
Yapacaklar. Acele etmene gerek yok. Hadi gidelim.
I love this place, neighborhood already. Look how charming it is with the colors and the artistry and just the expressions that come out of the people. And then when you said home cooking, we meant home cooking. It literally feels like somebody's kitchen over here.
His wife and his mother are the ones doing the cooking, then he brings them down here every day and serves it to the residents and also to many of the shop owners around as well. The menu changes every day, especially depending on the seasonal vegetables. When you come in, you take a look at what's available on the counter. Today it looks like we have some nice eggplant, one of my favorite dishes in the whole cuisine actually. Whenever I'm away abroad and come back to Turkey, my mom makes this dish to me as the first meal. Welcome back to Turkey dish. A Black Sea specialty actually, because his mother is from the Black Sea. His father, well, he passed away, but it was from southern Turkey, from Antakya. So in the place you get the influence from both regions, north and south. And this is a kale stew with some red beans, some potatoes, corn of course, the must-have for the Black Sea, and kale cooked together. Borlati beans, like the Italian borlati beans, the red and white ones. Once it's cooked, it turns brownish with carrots and potatoes, a vegetarian dish. Let's see, oh nice one, the grapevine leaves. But this is the hot version, so the yemeklerinden tek denir.
So it's very hard to choose what you want to eat because he lifts those lids and the aromas just kind of waft up and everything makes you hungry. We're going with a lot of things that are in season right now, besides from the eggplant, but the eggplant dish is so good you have to have it. Okay, so this is a cold appetizer, so we're going to start with it. So in Turkey there's a large list of olive oil dishes seen around the Mediterranean area on the west side. They rotate with the vegetables that are seasonal, but pretty much what we got is we got the celery root on bottom here, topped with carrot, potato, and the quince. What you pretty much do is put this with water, salt, olive oil, and you can put it in the oven and let it kind of cook in its own juices. As you can see, we got a little pool of it at the bottom of this plate right here. Ooh, that is tender. Look at that. I don't know why I used my knife. Oh, this is gonna have to be a scoop because that celery root, everything's cooked. It'll be so tender, you can't even pick it up with a fork. Ooh. Wow, it's a lot more sweet and tart I thought it'd be. There's an intense tartness coming from that. The celery root, very earthy, very naturally sweet, mild. Everything's so mild. In that bite, I got more of carrot and potato. It was very earthy and just naturally sweet, rich from that olive oil. That's so fragrant, kind of burst in your mouth. I think there's got to be a little sugar added to this because there's more than just the natural sweetness of sugar. I usually like to take a bite of everything before I finish something off, but that I already knew was a winner. Now this is karnıyarık. You probably cannot find a Turkish person that does not love this dish. And if you actually translate this name, it means split tummy. If you look at this, the split down the middle of the eggplant. So this isn't like a must-have to do, but it looks like they're actually frying the eggplant first, which is a little more of a traditional step before stuffing it with that sauteed onion mixture, garlic, pepper, tomatoes, and a ground meat, usually coming from like a beef. Anything else can kind of vary from household to household. And here we got a nice long green chili pepper on top. Oh yeah, look at that. Can't go wrong. Steaming hot eggplant, that ground mixture of these textures together are gonna be a match made in heaven. Let me get some of that green chili on there. Oh, that just looks absolutely fabulous. Wow. That's one of those dishes I was probably most excited about trying in my whole time in Turkey. And it does not disappoint. Only thing, and I say the only thing that's keeping this from being perfect is it's not seasoned for eggplant. The eggplant has a touch of bitterness in it. If it was in season, that eggplant had a more robust flavor and a touch of sweetness. Hands down, top 5 dish in Turkey. Let's give the last one a try. So we got the little lentil meatball here. I tried saying Turkish, but I totally blanked out in my mind. You can see all the parsley, the green onion, a little red chili flake. I'm sure there's gonna be more spices infused in here. Very hearty, stick to your ribs. That green onion, ooh, yeah, spicy green onion. And we're gonna stay with the Black Sea influence here. As you see, we got a kale, little stew here, some type of bean, and then a big hint that this is from the Black Sea region, the corn here. Owner really recommended this one, so we'll take his word for it. You could have told me this came where I'm raised from. If that doesn't taste like a little bite of home right there, deep, dark, rich, nutritious, green leafy vegetable, got a little bitterness to it, hitting some beans, the creaminess, that umami, and snap into a little piece of corn. Only thing is wrong with that, ain't the right type of corn. And there ain't enough fat in there. Like some butter. I want his recipes, and I want to figure out where he buys his plates from. Ciao, my friend.
Nice to meet you.
Man, that was awesome. Yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching another one. I want to hop on here and just talk to you personally and say thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I also want to ask, like, do you like the longer ones or splitting them up? I've been kind of going back and forth because I don't know what people prefer. So if you like longer ones, you know, please let me know in the comments. Or if you still like these shorter ones broken up, let me know as well. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you at the next one. Peace.